befitting the name of the team they were playing against. That game was wild. Caps lose 4-3 in a shootout to the Minnesota Wild. Let's talk about it, babes. First period, Tom Wilson parked net front, bangs in a rebound of a Rasmus Sandin point shot. 1-0, Capitals on Tom Wilson's 15th goal of the season already, assisted, obviously, like I said, by Rasmus Sandin. So it is 1-0 Caps, but the lead does not last long for the good guys here, as just a little over a minute after that goal by Tom Wilson, Ryan Hartman, he gets a goal for the Wild, tying things up at 1, and then with less than a minute to go in the first period, we have got the reverse McNugget minute goal here. A McNugget minute goal, obviously, when the Caps score in the last minute of any given period. But here it is the Minnesota Wild. That is why I say it is the reverse McNugget minute goal here. It's the Minnesota Wild, like I said, taking advantage here. They get the goal short-handed, by the way. That's not great. Yakov Trenin with the goal for the Wild puts them up 2-1 late in the first period. And that is how the first period would end. So not ending on a great note there, that first 20 minutes. But then in the second period, Martin Ferivari draws a double minor after losing half of his tooth, and Alex Ovechkin scores on the resulting power play to tie this game up at 2. Ovi's 18th goal of the season already, despite obviously missing just about a month and a half with a broken leg. That is his 18th goal, like I said, of this season already. Just insane stuff from the great 8. The 39-year-old, unbelievable. This one assisted by, no surprise here, Dylan Strome. Ties things up at 2, like I said, and that is how the second period would end. Then, just a little over 5 minutes into the third period, toothless Marty Ferivari, he would grab the lead here for the Caps. That's the stay-at-home defenseman's first goal of the season, assisted by Pierre-Luc Dubois, and it puts the Caps up 3-2. Then we've got some clutch penalty killing by the Caps in the third period. When up 3-2, things are looking good. But then a Tom Wilson goal gets washed out for an alleged high stick. That would have made it 4-2. A little bit comical and a little bit suspicious, frankly, that they were able to rule so quickly there that was apparently a high stick by Tom Wilson, given that Wilson was fully on his knees when he makes contact with that puck here. But they said they could tell right away that it was too high, apparently. And so that goal that, like I said, would have made it 4-2 for the Caps gets washed out immediately. And then just seconds after Wilson's goal gets taken off of the board, Minnesota, they then score instead at the other end. So 4-2 Caps becomes 3-3 instead in a matter of seconds. Brutal. And then with just over 3 minutes left in regulation of this tied game, Jacob Chychrun with a 107-mile-an-hour slap shot off of the crossbar behind Marc-Andre Fleury. Per NHL stats, that is the hardest shot that has been recorded in an NHL game this season. And it certainly had Marc-Andre Fleury beat, but it does not beat the crossbar. And so we would go to overtime, and overtime solves nothing. And so we will go to a shootout for the first time all season, and ooh boy, could you ever tell, folks, that the Caps have not had any practice at this all season? All 3 Cap shooters are stopped by Minnesota Wild netminder Marc-Andre Fleury, who was, in all likelihood, playing his last ever game at Capital One Arena as he plans to retire at the end of this season. It has been a marvelous career for Marc-Andre Fleury, who was always the one count 'em one, Pittsburgh Penguin, who I could never bring myself to hate. And so he gets the win here, 4-3 in the shootout over his longtime nemesis, the Washington Capitals. you know what? That's a storybook ending for Marc-Andre Fleury. At least a storybook ending for him at Capital One Arena. I know he's obviously going to play more games this season, but like I said, probably in all likelihood, that is going to be his last ever game at Capital One Arena. So a storybook ending for him at Cap One against, like I said, one of his long time nemesis in the Washington Capitals. So from this Caps fan anyway, and I'm sure from all of us as well, you know what? Congratulations, Marc-Andre Fleury, on a great career. It's been a pleasure watching you all of these years. The rivalry, Fleury versus Ovechkin, we all love it. Ovechkin got him again tonight. Ovechkin has gotten him several times throughout their NHL careers. And Fleury has gotten Ovechkin a few times as well, for sure. So a great rivalry between those two. Always so much fun to watch. And you can just tell that they really love playing against one another as well. So again, congratulations to Marc-Andre Fleury. But yeah, for tonight, for the Washington Capitals, it's a loss, right? Albeit in the shootout. They do need clearly to practice that shootout a little bit. It was not very good tonight. But who can blame them really, as they have not been to any shootouts so far this season. So we'll see if they, if they head to more shootouts at all over the last half or so of the season. But yeah, definitely maybe work that into the practice time a little bit, as it was pretty rusty tonight. So yeah. Final score, like I said, 4-3 for the Minnesota Wild in the shootout. All right, babes, that is going to be it for this one. Keeping it short here today, as we have got another big game coming up here against another Metropolitan Division rival. Those ones always count a little bit more. They mean a little bit more, always, frankly, regardless of your position in the standings. So that game, obviously, like I said, coming up against the New York Rangers, that is going to be a big one. Peter Laviolette and the boys, Rangers, they've been struggling quite a lot. Don't really know what to say there. I'm sure I will have more comments after that game, but yeah, they have not been doing so hot. So we will see how the Capitals do against the New York Rangers. Cannot wait to talk to you all about that one. That is going to be an exciting game, I'm sure, as well as an exciting chat afterwards amongst all of us Capitals fans. Thank you all so much, as always, for being here. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for all of your support. Until next time, babes, and as always, let's go Caps.